How to respond when your child disrespects you. If your child has ever rolled their eyes, ignored your words, or talked back, you're not alone. These moments can feel painful and even a little personal. As parents, we give so much of ourselves it's only natural to expect a little respect in return. But when that doesn't happen, it's easy to feel angry, hurt, or lost about what to do next. The truth is, disrespectful behavior is often a sign of something deeper. It might come from stress, frustration, or a child struggling to express their emotions. And while it's important to set limits, how we respond makes all the difference. Yelling or punishing out of frustration might feel satisfying in the moment, but it rarely leads to real change. The good news: there's a better way. You don't need to be perfect. You just need some tools that help you stay calm, set clear boundaries, and reconnect with your children when things get tough. In this video, I'll walk you through 6 simple steps you can start using today. Each one is based on real-life situations, and they're meant to help you build more peace and mutual respect at home. Think of this as a guide from a friend, Simeon, who gets how messy parenting can be and wants to help make it just a little easier. Let's take it one step at a time. No pressure, no judgment, just small, practical shifts that can lead to big changes. Step 1. Stay calm first. Let's start with the foundation: you're calm. Because before anything else, that's the piece that changes everything. Step 1. Stay calm first. When your child ignores you or talks back, it can feel like a personal attack. It's frustrating. Maybe you've had a long day, and now you're met with eye rolls or silence. Your first instinct might be to raise your voice or demand respect right away. That's completely human. But here's the truth: reacting with anger often makes things worse, not better. Kids, especially when they're upset or overwhelmed, aren't always in a place where they can listen or respond calmly. If you meet their big emotions with your own, the situation usually explodes. That's why the most important thing you can do first is to stay calm. Calm doesn't mean pretending everything's okay or bottling things up. It means slowing down your response so you don't get pulled into the heat of the moment. When you stay calm, you're not just avoiding a blow-up, you're showing your child how to handle hard moments. You're giving them a real-life example of emotional control. What can you do in the moment? Pause. Take a breath literally. If you need to, step out of the room for a minute. Count to 5 before you speak. Keep your tone low and steady. Instead of reacting right away, say something like, "I'm feeling frustrated right now. I need a moment." The small shift in how you respond changes the energy in the room. It tells your child, this doesn't have to turn into a fight. And even if they don't calm down right away, your presence gives them something stable to lean on. You're not just controlling the situation, you're teaching. Every time you respond calmly, you're modeling what it looks like to stay grounded in tough moments. Over time, your child will learn to do the same. Not because you force them to, but because they've seen it work. And the truth is, staying calm helps you too. It gives you space to think clearly and decide how you want to handle the situation, not just how your emotions are pushing you to react. It protects your relationship from damage caused by yelling or saying things you'll later regret. What if you mess up? That's okay. We all lose our cool sometimes. When that happens, be honest. Say, "I got too upset earlier. I'm working on staying calm too." Your child learns that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you keep trying. This step isn't about being perfect. It's about creating space for better moments. The more you practice it, the more natural it feels. And the more your child sees that calm is possible even during conflict, more they'll follow your lead. So start here. Take the first breath. Your calm can be the anchor in the storm. Before you respond, take a breath and then try to understand what your child might really be feeling underneath the behavior. Step 2. Understand without giving in. When your child speaks disrespectfully or shuts you out, it's tempting to respond with authority right away. You might feel like you need to put your foot down or remind them who's in charge. But jumping in too fast can miss something important: what's really going on underneath the behavior. Disrespect doesn't always come from defiance. Sometimes it's a sign of stress, anxiety, or emotional overload. Kids don't always know how to say, "I'm overwhelmed" or "I feel unheard." Instead, It shows up as sarcasm, silence, or attitude. That's why the key here is understanding and giving in, not ignoring but being curious before reacting. So what can you do? After staying calm, take a moment to observe the situation. Ask yourself, what might my child be feeling right now? Or what else could be driving this reaction? Instead of saying, "You're being rude," try asking, "You seem upset or you want to talk about it." Use a tone that's calm and open, not accusatory. You're not excusing the behavior. You're simply choosing to respond rather than react. Sometimes kids just need space. If they're not ready to talk, you can say, "I'm here when you're ready." That one sentence can shift the energy completely. It shows you respect their emotions while still staying connected. And if they do open up, just listen. You don't need to fix everything right away. Just showing that you care about how they feel is powerful. Understanding doesn't mean giving up your values. You can still hold your ground. You can say, "I want to understand you, but I also expect respect when we talk." This approach teaches your child that emotions matter, but so do boundaries. It's not one or the other, it's both. The big shift here is seeing past the behavior to the person behind it. When your child feels heard and not instantly judged, they begin to lower their defenses. They feel safer. That's when they're more likely to reflect, take responsibility, and grow. This step is not always easy, especially if you were raised in a household where respect meant obedience without question. But choosing to understand first doesn't mean you're being soft, it means you're being wise. You're helping your child build emotional awareness and communication skills. You're saying, "Your feelings matter, but so does how we treat each other." Over time, this approach builds trust, and trust leads to real influence, the kind that doesn't need yelling or punishment to work. It's the kind that lasts. So next time things get tense, try this: pause, stay curious, and make space for understanding. It could be the bridge that brings you closer. Once you've listened with empathy, it's time to calmly set the limits that help your child feel safe and supported. Step 3. Set clear boundaries without power struggles. Kids need limits. It helps them feel safe, even if they push back. When a child is acting out or ignoring your requests, it's not always about testing your authority. It can also be a way of asking, "Are you really here for me?" Clear boundaries give them structure, and structure gives them security. The key is setting limits calmly and consistently, not through threats or power struggles. When you set a boundary with anger or frustration, your child often focuses on how you said it, not what you said. But when you stay calm and clear, your message lands better. Here's what to do. First, decide what your boundary is before you're in the heat of the moment. It might be something like, "In this house, we speak to each other respectfully." Or, "If you don't complete your homework, there's no screen time after dinner." The boundary should be simple, clear, and reasonable. Next, communicate the boundary in a neutral tone. Avoid lectures. Avoid sarcasm. Just state the expectation and the consequence calmly. For example, if you choose not to follow this rule, here's what will happen. Let it be about the choice they're making, it about your control over them. Most importantly, follow through. Boundaries don't work without consistency. If you say something will happen and then don't do it, your child learns the rules are flexible and that respect can be negotiated. And remember, boundaries aren't punishments. They're life tools. They teach cause and effect. They teach responsibility. They prepare your child for the real world, where every action has a consequence, good or bad. You can also involve your child in setting some boundaries, especially as they get older. This gives them a sense of ownership and makes them more likely to follow through. Ask, "What do you think is a fair consequence if this happens again?" It turns the situation into a conversation, not a battle. Why this matters: children often act out more when they feel unsure of where the limits are. When the rules keep changing, or when boundaries are set out of anger, it creates confusion and tension. But when the rules are clear and enforced with calm confidence, your child starts to feel more secure even if they don't like the rule in the moment. Setting boundaries isn't about being strict, it's about being steady. And the steadier you are, the more your child will learn to respect both you and the limits you've set. So if you've struggled with discipline, feeling like a constant fight, try this: step back, breathe, and clearly state your expectations. Then hold the line with kindness and consistency. Over time, your child won't just follow the rules. They'll understand why they matter. Boundaries matter, but your actions matter even more. The way you show up every day becomes your child's clearest lesson. Step 4. Be the example you want to see. Kids watch everything. Even when it seems like they're not listening, they're paying attention to how you speak, how you react, how you treat others, and how you treat them. That's why one of the most powerful tools you have as a parent is your own behavior. If you want your child to be respectful, show them what respect looks like. If you want them to listen, model good listening. This isn't always easy, especially when emotions run high. But your example carries more weight than your words ever will. Why this matters: children learn through observation. They copy what they see much more than what they're told. If they see you staying calm during an argument, they learn how to stay calm too. If they see you apologize when you've made a mistake, they learn that saying sorry isn't a weakness, it's part of being responsible. You become their real-life guide for how to handle hard things. Here's how to do it practically. Start small. Let's say you want your child to stop interrupting. Make sure you're not doing the same to them. When they talk, try to really listen without cutting in or rushing to respond. If you expect them to speak respectfully, make sure your tone isn't harsh or dismissive when you're upset. Even during conflict, you can hold firm boundaries and still speak with kindness. Another example: if your child is quick to blame others, model accountability. You might say, "I snapped earlier, and I shouldn't have. I was tired, but that's not your fault. I'm sorry." That moment alone teaches more than a lecture ever could. The positive impact: when kids see you managing your emotions, treating others with respect, and owning your actions, it builds trust. It tells them, this is what it looks like to handle things well even when they're hard. Over time, they start to mirror those same behaviors. And because they trust you, they're more open to learning from you. Also, being a consistent example reduces power struggles. You're not just enforcing rules, or living them. That kind of consistency feels safe to kids. It tells them you mean what you say, and it helps them take your guidance seriously. And if you mess up, that's okay. You don't need to be a perfect parent. You just need to be a growing one. When you own your mistakes and try again, you're showing your child how to grow, too. That's real leadership. So the next time your child pushes your buttons, try this: slow down, check in with your tone, and ask yourself, what am I showing them right now? That little pause can shift the entire moment, and over time, it shapes the kind of relationship you both really want. And while structure is important, your relationship needs space to grow beyond rules through joy, trust, and everyday connection. Step 5. Build connection outside of conflict. When most of your interactions with your child are about rules, reminders, or corrections, it can wear down the relationship. Over time, both you and your child may start to feel disconnected even if you live under the same roof. That's why creating positive moments together outside of conflict is so important. Why this matters: kids are more likely to respect and listen to someone they feel close to. Connection builds trust. It softens defenses. It creates a relationship where communication flows more easily, even during tough conversations. Without that base of connection, discipline can start to feel like distance. But when your child feels emotionally safe with you, they're much more open to your guidance. Here's how to do it, simply and consistently. Start with time. It doesn't need to be long or complicated. 10 focused minutes a day can go a long way. Choose something your child enjoys: a walk, a quick game, a chat before bed, even listening to their music with them. During these moments, don't correct, teach, or fix. Just be present. Let them lead. Ask questions about things they care about. What was the best part of your day? Or what are you excited about right now? Let them feel that your attention isn't just tied to their behavior but to who they are. Make room for laughter. Humor is one of the easiest ways to reconnect. Share something silly. Watch a funny video. Create memories that don't revolve around chores or homework. These small moments matter more than you might think. Also, be mindful of quality over quantity. It's better to give your full attention for 10 minutes than to be half present for an hour. Put your phone down. Let them know they have your focus. That undivided attention says, "You matter. I see you." The positive impact: when kids feel emotionally connected, they feel more secure. And secure kids are more likely to behave with empathy, listen more, and push boundaries less. They're not acting out for attention because they already have it. And for you, these moments can refill your patience and remind you of who your child is beyond the stress of parenting. This step also helps during the hard times. When there's already a strong bond, it's easier to navigate conflict without damaging the relationship. Your child knows you're not just about discipline, you're about love, support, and showing up consistently. So if things have felt tense or distant lately, this is a place to start. Not with another rule, but with a simple invitation. Want to hang out for a bit? That one question can open the door to more peace, more trust, and a deeper relationship that lasts far beyond childhood. After connection comes reflection. Sometimes, stepping back gently allows growth to take root in ways pressure never could. Step 6. Give space to reflect. When a child behaves in a disrespectful way, it's natural to want an immediate response, a quick apology, a change in tone, a promise to do better. But change doesn't always happen in the moment. Sometimes, what your child needs most isn't a lecture or a consequence, it's space to reflect. Why this matters: kids, just like adults, don't always process things right away. When emotions run high, their ability to think clearly or take responsibility drops. Giving them space isn't about avoiding the issue. It's about allowing their emotions to settle so they can reflect on what happened, without feeling pressured or cornered. What you can do, after you've calmly addressed the behavior and set a boundary: step back. Let your child know you're not expecting an instant fix. You might say, "I know you're upset right now. Let's both take some time, and we'll talk later." Keep it short and steady. No lectures, no guilt tripping, just calm direction and a pause. This space might be a few minutes, an hour, or even overnight, depending on the child and the situation. During that time, avoid bringing the issue up again or trying to force a resolution. Give your child the emotional room to sit with what happened. Follow up when the moment feels right. It could be during a quiet drive, before bed, or while doing something together. You can gently say, "I've been thinking about earlier. Have you had a chance to think about it too?" This opens the door without pressure. It tells your child you care more about connection than control. If they're ready to talk, listen without interrupting. Let them express how they felt, even if it's hard to hear. This reflection process helps them build emotional awareness, personal responsibility, and problem-solving skills, things they'll need for life. The positive impact: when you give space to reflect, you're teaching your child that they don't have to be perfect, but they do need to take ownership of their actions. You're also sending the message that growth is a process, not a performance. That message builds confidence, not fear. This step also helps prevent power struggles. When kids know they won't be forced into a quick apology or shamed into admitting fault, they're more open to real learning. And when they do come around on their own, it means much more than when they're just trying to avoid punishment. Over time, your child will begin to internalize this rhythm: mistake, space, reflection, repair. That's how real change happens. Not overnight, not through pressure, but through trust, time, and consistent support. So the next time you're tempted to fix everything right away, take a breath and give it space. That quiet time might be the most powerful part of the conversation. In the end, it's the calm, the consistency, and the care you bring that truly shape your child's journey and yours. Lasting change starts small. Parenting through conflict isn't about having all the answers, it's about choosing small, steady steps that build trust over time. The moments that feel the hardest are often the ones that matter most, and the way you respond in those moments can shape your child's ability to grow, connect, and handle challenges with maturity. Start by staying calm. When things get tense, your steady voice and presence speak louder than any lecture. Your child learns that even tough emotions don't have to lead to chaos. Try to understand what's behind the behavior. Disrespect is often a signal, not just a problem. Maybe your child is tired, overwhelmed, or struggling with something they can't quite name. When you stay curious instead of critical, it creates space for real connection. Set clear boundaries, not as punishment, but as guidance. Boundaries help kids feel safe. They know what's okay, and what's not, and they know you'll follow through with love, not anger. Be the example. Show your child what it looks like to listen, apologize, stay respectful, and try again. You're not expected to be perfect. Just be real. That's what they'll remember. Don't forget to create joy outside the conflict. Share moments that have nothing to do with rules. Laugh, play, talk. These small things build a relationship that can hold up during the hard times. And when mistakes happen, let them breathe. Give your child space to reflect and come back on their own terms. Growth takes time for them and for you. You're already doing more than you realize. Keep going, one calm and loving moment at a time.